Well, so you guys are incredibly articulate and well-spoken.
Which is why we
real estate. Real estate, it helps, yeah.
Um,
Give us a beer, it changes. Cut that, no.
Get your pina colada.
He needs 10. No, I'm kidding.
Pina colada, senor. Hey guys, this is Zach with Start Abroad. Today I'm down in Playa Flamingo, Costa Rica with Damian and Danielle. They own a real estate business in Sedona, Arizona and have lived down in this area since July. Today they're sharing with you some of their experiences about moving down to Costa Rica. Enjoy.
So I'm Danielle Gian.
I'm Damian Bruno,
We're from Sedona, Arizona.
and we're splitting our time here in Costa Rica. We sell real estate in Sedona, Arizona, and our son's going to school here in Costa Rica, so we split our time between the two locations.
Great, and how long have you been here?
We moved here in July of 2022.
Nice, how's it going?
So far, so good.
Yep, Pura Vida, loving the life.
That's more of a Damian response.
Well, we were vacationing here. Back home, I was getting to the point where we were both concerned where Dante was going to school for 7th and 8th grade, middle school. While we were here, we saw La Paz, a local school, and that it was a bilingual private school in the area. We felt very comfortable in Costa Rica when visiting. We knew others in the area that had children going to school at La Paz. So it seemed like a perfect opportunity to give Dante an international experience so that he was more likely to be comfortable with bigger choices in life as he grew older.
We actually came here for the first time as a family a couple of years ago and fell in love with it, and it just so happened that the school that we were interested in is in the subdivision where we live, and so synergistically it just kind of worked out for the family coming from the desert and now moving to a beach community.
Yeah, we're looking for beach living, and there was a great school, international bilingual school in the area, so the pieces kind of fell together. The few people we know in country live in the area, so it worked out that way, and it's been great.
It's nice to have this breeze, but it's the Papagayo winds.
Yeah, so at this time of the year, at certain times of the day, you can experience more wind from a phenomenon called the Papagayo winds. So during the drier part of the year, sometimes overnight, more commonly at night, but also sometimes during the day, you can get
a nice ocean breeze.
Quite a bit of wind. Well, you know, Dante is 13 years old. He's pretty independent.
Well-traveled.
He's well-traveled. The biggest thing was what he was leaving behind, not so much concerns on his part as to what he was coming to. Loves beach life, loves animals, totally loves nature. Kid does not own a video game, has no interest in that, so this was perfect for him. But he was very happy in his lifestyle back home in Sedona as well. In the 6th grade, you know, lots of friends. All the kids have been in the same school together since 1st grade, so it's a very tight, close-knit community. So his biggest concerns and the biggest thing that we had to navigate was that he wasn't going to lose his friends. He was only going to gain experience and gain friends, and that he would be experiencing over the next 2 years in middle school, yes, more of Costa Rica than Sedona, but he would also be experiencing Sedona as well during the in between the semesters.
He's got his feet in both cultures right now, which is great.
Yes.
How do you feel about that, and how does he feel about that?
When he's here, he loves it. When he's home, he loves it. So it's whatever he's in motion with. But right now, he's out with friends. He's riding bikes, going to the beach, and then we're going out for dinner with friends after. So walk the beach every morning with the dogs. Saw cows this morning. Took pictures of that. So it's a very interesting lifestyle for sure.
Dante certainly recognizes the value as well. For a 13-year-old, he has a good vision for his future, and he recognizes that broadening his language capabilities, his cultural experiences are going to help him, you know, in the future.
That's wonderful. It sounds like a way better kid at 13 than I was.
Oh yeah, me too. I mean, he puts me to shame, actually. Yeah. Yes.
That was the biggest challenge of them all, was bringing down our pets, because
logistically
we see them as family members, and we didn't just want to put them in cargo. So we actually went so far as to do a lot of research and
Dogs.
charter our plane. Yeah, the dogs. So they wouldn't be stuck in cargo for 24 plus hours. It's very hard. COVID changed the way you can ship pets through regular commercial airline. It also can be very expensive. So by the time you get done with the vets and everything that you need, the carriers, the shipping, for us it made more sense just to come down as a whole family as opposed to piecemeal it. And plus, because of weather, you just can't come down at any time. Depending on what your exit airport is, the weather has to be conducive in order for your pet to fly in cargo.
And being in Arizona and needing to be down here at a certain time for school, they were polar opposites. Where it was way too hot in Arizona, the airlines wouldn't fly out until about October 1st. It had to be under 85 degrees even then for them to allow the dogs in cargo or underneath the plane. School started September 1st, so we were in a crunch for time. You had to find a city that was the planes were large enough to fly out of, that was cool enough, and then you would land in San Jose, not in Liberia, because Liberia is too small of an airport for the commercial planes to bring the dogs in as well. It was constantly changing. Every time we called, we got a different answer. And
Plus, you could only make your reservation with American Airlines 10 days out due to the vet papers and the shots and the examination by the vet. So that made it even more tricky to try to plan a long distance move and then not be able to bring your pets in the time that you wanted to.
yeah. So La Paz, the school down here, their cycle, the beginning of the year, September 1st, basically for school. However, flying down from Arizona, that is a hot time of the year. The commercial airlines would not fly out of Phoenix until October 1st, and it had to be under 85 degrees. So that would obviously cut into the school year, and we had to find other plans. Those other plans consisted of flying out of another city, as long as that city had a large enough airport that large commercial planes that take the dogs and cargo and so forth would operate out of. So just more and more logistics to worry about with the commercial.
It's a huge logistical nightmare at the end of the day. It
Yeah.
was easier just to, like I said, go as a whole family. Pets. For me, I think it was pets and wanting to just really care about how they got there and not wanting it to be a stressful experience.
So this initial planning started before the pandemic. The airlines were much more fluid in what they offered. All right, they had more choices. They don't seem too keen on going back to that, even with the pandemic being in a much different state.
Sure.
So that was the biggest challenge and most surprising in pre-planning. I would say once on the ground, one of the surprises was just the Guanacaste region having less availability of products, and whatever you found was expensive. We were a little naive in what we purchased and not knowing what quality was.
Like what?
Just kitchenware.
So a tiny toaster oven was $70 or $80 for a tiny little, the teeniest one they had.
Yeah.
And hard to find. A barbecue, which back in the U.S. is a pretty typical item. You can go to Home Depot and
2 to 3 times as much for a smaller barbecue than what we would normally have at home. What we're
and less
used to.
less
Right.
choice. So we're pretty darn lucky with being a primary consumer market in the United States. So that's what we were used to. And while certainly the big cities in Costa Rica are more similar to what the United States has available, the beach towns have only developed in the last 20 years, and the product availability is very different. Some of that's infrastructure, some of it is just that they're not a primary consumer market.
Great. That's really
A lot of the people are on vacation, so they're happy. The locals are happy all the time, so that's easier. Different than U.S. The stress levels are different. So the people have been very friendly. That's one thing our son always says, that whenever he goes to local Tico's homes, and because the kids in school and meets the families, they're all very embracing of him and very friendly. And yeah, so that was easier too. We grew up in New York City, where stranger danger is a big thing, and a lot of people ignore each other because of the masses of people. It's not the case down here. All you have to do is smile, and they totally open up and are friendly.
And trying to speak Spanish helps.
Yeah. So being Arizona residents, we arrived in the beginning of the rainy season. And so that was a little overwhelming, going from single-digit humidity to the humidity that you find in a subtropical
Yes, a
forest.
jungle area.
Right? Never mind that it was the rainiest time of the year. So it was novel, it was fun, but the humidity was difficult. If we'd come January, February, I think the transition would have been easier since the humidity levels would have been lower, and
It would have been the drier season here, and that would have been more adaptable for us.
we're totally used to sun constantly. And honestly, even though it gets really warm here, it's never as warm as Arizona, and the days are shorter. So in Arizona's summers, you can have 6-7 hours of really peak temperature. Here, it's 2 to 3 hours, and then it's waning again because there is less sun time. Visit for an extended time, whatever you're capable of doing. Invest some time in being in a situation that you're not a tourist, right? Go shop where the locals shop, drive around,
Eat where the locals eat.
right, and just see how you adapt to all of that. I mean, obviously, even coming for a month is not the same as living here full time, but it is a heck of a lot different than being on that vacation high and just enjoying yourself to the max and having no responsibilities, because obviously you're going to have responsibilities here, and that's going to change the way you view things.
Great.
We see a synergy between the two communities, that they're well-traveled areas. They're both natural, beautiful, and
Both tourist
nature-oriented
destinations
areas.
that people love to go to. People love the desert, the red rocks, then people also love the complete opposite, which are the beach towns. And so we have the ability, and we're really lucky enough to be able to live in two amazing communities. And so if anybody's interested in anything here in terms of real estate, right, we have a referral business set up, but then we also sell real estate in Sedona. And so it's SedonaRealestateAgents.com, Damian and Danielle, Sedona Village Real Estate Group. We're happy to help you in either community.
All right, are you guys ready for Start Abroad's famous rapid fire questions?
As ready as we're going to be.
No,
All right, interview done. No,
pina
so-
colada.
All right, done. So the idea is we're gonna ask questions, and you're gonna answer the first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay.
Okay, even if it's like purple.
Yeah. What's your favorite beach in Costa Rica?
Ooh, I really like Reserva Conchal.
Brasilito.
We've heard conchal before, actually. What's your favorite Costa Rican food?
The Tico Típico breakfast.
That's what I was going to go to as well.
Gallo pinto, it's beans and rice. Love it.
What's the best vacation you've ever taken?
Ooh.
Galapagos.
Galapagos.
Why?
It's so remote, and you really are up close with animals and nature, even more so than this. I mean, it's a completely unique experience.
Never experienced animals trusting human beings as much as the animals
And
in
clean.
the Galapagos.
And
Yes.
so
It
clean.
actually made me kind of yearn for what we might have lost as human beings with animals. Yeah.
What's the grossest thing you've ever eaten?
Octopus?
I'm gonna crickets. No, what's the gross?
Cow brain.
I can't say I'm a big fan of sea urchin, so I'd have to say uni.
Sea urchin. Interesting. Have you ever ridden an ostrich?
No.
I've eaten ostrich.
Ostrich burger, but no, that's
You've
not
never
riding.
ridden one?
No,
I have
no.
never ridden an ostrich.
Who would win in a fight, a lion or a gorilla?
Ooh.
Lion.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with lion.
Gorilla's a pacifist. Come on.
Yeah, they eat their bananas. What's on your nightstands?
A flashlight, a book, and
Which
lip
book?
balm.
Which book?
Dragonlance novel. Actually, I'm rereading from my childhood.
Star Wars book.
We're sci-fi buffs.
Yeah, great, me too. What's your favorite cocktail?
Malibu rum and soda water.
Pina colada. Yeah.
Good tropical drinks.
Yeah. Damian, Danielle, thank you guys so much.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Happy to be here.
Okay. If that's